Well, our second category in this segment focuses on visitor monitoring and facial recognition. Facial recognition technology leverages artificial intelligence to recognize the identity of an individual, which is, of course, very useful for self-checkout and shopper analytics. We welcome Ofer Ronen, Vice President of Business Development at Coresight AI, not to be confused with our friends Coresight Research, and Oren Paran, Managing Director at Retail Innovation Club, our host, of course, our co-host, and a moderator for the next couple of sessions, Chief Strategist Carl Boutet. Carl, take it away.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks so much for having me. This is super exciting. I was looking forward to being at this event in person, but unfortunately, we've had to pivot, as we all do in technology, very quickly onto a virtual platform. I'm also going to invite on stage with me the co-director from our Retail Innovation Lab, Maxime Cohen, who is So Maxime works here with me in Montreal as the co-director of our innovation lab. He's actually spent a lot of time in Israel doing his undergrad and some of his graduate work in retail analytics or data science in general. So I thought it would be a bonus to have Maxime with us because he's the brains of the operation. I'm just the strategist. So without further ado, I want to introduce Ofer and let Ofer sort of give us a quick run through of his solution.
Yes, I hope you can hear me well. So what you can see, hopefully you can see well on the screen, is a real live system for face recognition in operation. And actually, we've just been spinned off from Cortica as a new brand, and this is why the bit of confusion between the Cortica and the Coresight. So we are now an independent, separated company. So Coresight face recognition is built to provide face recognition in challenging environment conditions. Meaning, usually what we know is what we see in the airports, the face recognition kiosk of the passport control, when you address the camera with clear face, without sunglasses, without COVID masks, and the system recognizes you based on the photo of your passport. Coresight provides a bit of a different solution. It does not need a lot of cooperation from the person being recognized. Of course, we do need to respect his privacy. So there are a lot of GDPR features within the system in order to be able to support privacy and anonymization. But still, when we're talking about security or about retail, you cannot expect the customer to take off his sunglasses every time he gets into the store, or take off his hat and look straight to the camera. Today, people expect the environment to recognize them without any effort on their side. So we can see here, as long as you see the blue bounding box with my name around my face, it means that the system recognizes me. And of course, sunglasses for us are very easy, as the system was originally built in order to allow recognition of terrorists and hooligans in the crowd. So we show a bit more challenging situations. And actually, these are the challenges that we are built in order to overcome. Recognizing people with most of the face occluded, as we don't have so much time to go all over all of the feature of the system. I can say that it was built to recognize multiple people simultaneously in a crowd without their cooperation, without the need of them to assist the system to recognize them. And of course, you can deduct from that that this solution works perfectly in the COVID circumstances, when people go around with part of the face covered with masks. The solution, if you look on the retail side of it, as we see it, although privacy concerns, and again, we do have a lot of GDPR features built into the system to support it. Eventually, the face recognition will replace our credit card, our password, our loyalty member card, our driving license, our passport. Everything will be based eventually on the face. And if people in my generation are still have concerns about privacy, when you talk to my children, which are teenagers, you give them 5% discount and they will give you whatever information you would like to know about themselves. So looking a bit into the future, we believe that privacy issue will slow down a bit the entrance of face recognition to the market. But at the end, this will be the solution for almost everything we use today to identify ourselves. So we are talking about, first of all, payment by face. And beside the very nice feature that allow you to brand yourself or position yourself as very innovative, it also allows your repeated customer to be able to purchase without being walking around with wallets. We see it in water park as beginning because of the constraints that people doesn't walk with their credit card on them, or in hotel or in resorts. But eventually it will go also to the malls and the shopping centers. Then for the COVID today, with the issues that we see with the mask, face recognition technology today also provide the ability to make sure that people are wearing the mask as they should. So we can test for each customer that wishes to enter the shop, to check him first that he's got the mask on as required by the regulator. Then, of course, we've got the information gathering about, first of all, our employees, the hours they are working, where they were, which cashier they sat next to if we have some issues later on. But also gathering information about loyalty members. We want to know how much time they spent in our shop. This information can be anonymized, so we get statistics based on what we call unique ID without getting the full information. What was the name of the customer? And it all depends on what are you allowed to keep and what are you not allowed to keep. And it's different from country to country, even within Europe. GDPR interpretation are different in different markets, but even in the strict ones, there are things that you are able to collect some information. And then you can go to the obvious, which is the basic security. Run blacklist for shoplifters, for what we see today, the problem, the riots in the US, for hooligans. Keeping your logistics warehouses safe, especially what we call a restricted or sterile zone when only authorized employees are allowed to go there. So this system can monitor all the people that are going in this restricted area and make sure that only the authorized employees are there. And if someone else is there, the system will alert. I guess.
Yes, thanks, Ofer. I think we want to leave a couple of minutes for Oren and
yes,
maybe Max.
Exactly.
Before
So
I hand it off to them, this is actually a space I'm pretty familiar with. I had the privilege of spending a better part of a year with a video management service group here that was leading edge in this space. And I just remember for a couple of years ago how difficult it was to do this. Basically, retail loss prevention leaders weren't really using facial rec because they said it wouldn't work. And he said, like you're pointing out earlier on, customers often walk in with sunglasses, with hats. I mean, we're way before even the whole mask thing. And they were like, you know what, we put some money into it. And these are large global retailers that were just a couple of years ago almost throwing in the towel as using facial rec as a loss prevention tool, not to mention all the other advantages it can bring, where you mentioned like payment and those sort of use cases, which traditionally have been a little easier because you have a compliant customer that wants to have their face captured. Otherwise, we had to get very creative to find ways to sort of facial trap people to be able to run those programs. So once again, another example of Israel technology leading the way and showing us what the possibilities are. So this is very, very exciting. Maybe just my only question would be, is this requires a lot of compute? I mean, I suspect this is pretty heavy AI application. Are you able to do that on-prem for the retailer so that the retail stays captured, or does it have to go somewhere else?
Most of our installations are on-prem, and most of our effort today is minimizing and making the computation requirement more efficient. Till now, we used to work only on NVIDIA GPU cards. Now we released a new version that runs on a Intel CPU based, and in the next 3 months we will have even a reduced version that can run on the camera itself. Wow.
Well, my friends from Intel will be happy about that, and I'm sure my friends in the camera manufacturing space are also very close to this. Oren, what do you have? What are your thoughts around this?
Hi, Carl. Hi, Ofer. First of all, I think that computer vision is one of the most amazing technologies that arrived to our land. I mean, for retail, it's a dream come true. I mean, those technologies were around the military for many years, and now it's on the civilians market. And actually, computer vision on the high level can actually monitor everything. And you know, retailers want to know as much as they can. So now the line goes between how much do I want to know about the consumers and what they would like me to know about them. So it's kind of a trade-off, but I think that there is, for both sides, there are advantages for sure. I think that computer vision for now is very common. I mean, there's so many offerings out there, and Offer and Cortica is just on the front of this technology also for many years. So I think that where we're going to take it, that's the question, because to count people now, everyone can, and to understand how much time we've been on this store, on these shopping centers, everybody knows. But the question is, are we able to use this computer vision platform in order to optimize operation? Send alert to our workers, send alert to our marketers, or on the highest level, just combine it into the omni-channel, connect it with the apps, connect it with digital signage, as we spoke before, or like Appreciate was doing with the payment. So I think it can go many ways. It depends what are the needs and what the retailers are looking to achieve.
Right, absolutely. And maybe just to close, Maxime, I think the next couple of sessions are going to be much more in your wheelhouse, but we're working on a lab in Montreal where I think technology like this could come in handy, but we have maybe some concerns as well around privacy and how it all gets managed, right?
Yes, definitely. We're working on a frictionless retail store where, like all the checkout process will be done with camera technology. Maybe it's fascinating presentation. Really appreciate it, Ofer. Just wanted to ask like a quick follow-up question. Once you got the facial recognition solved, if you have multiple cameras around the retail store, can you do the next step by trying to extract the sentiment on the face or extract the distraction or attention of customers towards specific items? It is something that you guys are already working on.
Yeah, quickly, because we're supposed to move on to the next one too.
Sorry.
Okay, so these capabilities can be done using our API, basically extract information from the system and translate it to marketing information.
Thank you. That's a great short answer, Ofer. And obviously, we encourage people to go look at your solution and find you online so that they can go and get the rest of the information that they'll need to make the best use of it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Oren.
Thank you, Carl, for a lovely session, and thanks to Ofer Ronen and Oren Baran for joining us on the stage.